Welcome to Google for Real Estate. I'm Derek Bixler, real estate agent, outdoor adventure sportsman, volunteer firefighter, and Google marketing geek. Let's get into it. I've got a few little news and random things to go over. I've got a new little test we can run, or I guess it's kind of new, but somebody was talking about it on a podcast recently, and I've never heard other people talk about it. I've talked about it before. I assume other people have thought of it. It's nothing new under the sun, but there's a new thing we might try. And actually, I didn't put... There is a link. I put links in the chat here if you're here live. I've reduced my copying and pasting to one link that will send you to my website to get all the links that I usually plop in the chat here. All the replay links and Spotify and Discovery Call, if you need to get me, that one is pasted separately. And at the top of the room, the Discovery Call also if you need to reach out to me. But the link I was just talking about, actually I'll wait to put that in there till I talk about that thing. So I got a few news and random things plus this new kind of thing we can try out. Or there will be some drawbacks, which I will go over so you can decide if you want to try it or not, or maybe do it sometimes and then do the other method, which will make sense in a minute. You can decide which one you want to do. So, and then also ask me anything or any wins or anything if you want to share. So I guess I will start with ask me anything. Does anybody have any questions, issues, anything with Google Business Profile, local services ads? I will add that if you go to your local services ads, if you haven't recently, there's a new terms and conditions in there that you need to accept. If you're in your account enough, it'll pop up when you go there and you can just accept it and then you won't have to do it again. But if you're not in there a lot or you want to keep your account active, there's a date, I forget what the date is, you need to go and accept that. So that is one thing on local services ads that you might have gotten an email about, and yes, you need to do that. But anybody have any questions, issues, wins, anything?
I have a question, Derek.
Yeah, go for it.
And I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask you anyways. So I have two Google My Business pages. I have one here in Malvern in my local community, and then I have one in Carrollton where my office is. And I know I need to get rid of one of them. But something chat told me when I was doing an online presence profile search thing, it said that I'm diluting the search by having both of them, and that I need to get rid of one of them. And so I'm assuming I should get rid of the one with less stuff or less reviews. Should I just delete that, or should I try to get them to combine it?
So they're both the same thing? It's not like one is at your house? Is that what it is?
Basically,
I
yeah.
think that's what you said.
Did a pin
and
just did the area, like
Gotcha.
this area. Yep.
Sure. And they're both you, though. It's not like you and then what the other one is the brokerage or a team one or something?
Yes, they're both me.
Okay, so they are true duplicates, which, yes, is against policy and wouldn't dilute. It would dilute if somebody was searching you specifically. They're going to compete with each other. It wouldn't dilute as far as people just searching for a realtor because they're proximity based. I mean, perfect world, you could have profiles all over, not all over the place, because if they're too close, yes, they will kind of compete with each other. But if they're spread out enough, they would not. However, no, you can't have two. So yes, you're correct. ChatGPT was kind of correct. Yes, you can merge them. I don't do it a lot. You would have to, there's a help ticket. If you go through the help system, there should be, when you type merge, probably just merge profiles, and then it'll kind of guide you through. There'll be some options to pick the option that makes the most sense. They'll try to feed you. They will always try to feed you, like, here's some stuff you can go read and fix it yourself. But a lot of things like that you cannot do on your own. So you just have to click past that to get to the email. There might be a call button. When you go through the help system and select certain things based on what you're selecting, will dictate what options you have at the bottom. So usually there's almost always a email one, a contact us email one, and you can do that. And it's not an actual, you don't draft an email, you fill out a form that emails them. But you should be able to just tell them they'll want the IDs and links and things like that of each profile. In the form, they might ask for those things. If you don't know where to find those, you could reach out to me. I have like a tool where I can grab all your profile information off of the profile in one place, like all the different links and all the numbers and place IDs and all that stuff. Because I'm guessing they're going to ask for those things if they're going to merge them. And then go through that, and then hopefully it just works. Their help system is overloaded, I know, because they've officially turned over scanning of Google Business profiles for spammers and bad actors and just upkeep and everything too, I suppose. But they've turned it over to AI to scan and sort and sift out bad things, and it's been more harsh, I think, maybe than they anticipated, or they just need to teach it more or whatever. So there's been an uptick in suspensions and re-verifications, which means then there's an uptick in help things and everything, and they don't hire new people when things happen like that. So if there's a little bit of a wait, it could be a couple days, it could be a month, or I've heard of things taking months and months, even for these big, huge agency people. So usually that's the months and months usually doesn't happen. You should get at least it happens, or you get denied, or it doesn't happen within, I'd say within a month, maybe even quicker if all your stuff is perfectly laid out and it appears to them that it should be merged and it's okay to merge them. Yeah, and which one you would want to keep, like as the main one, and I'm guessing they would ask which one you want to be merged with the other one, and the one remains. I would probably go. Are there a lot of people at your office?
There are, but nobody really. I'm the only one that really, I think, has a profile. The office has a profile, but I'm the only agent at this time that does that.
Gotcha. Is your neighborhood your more preferred farm area?
It is. I don't have as much stuff on that profile. That's why I was thinking I would get rid of that one. Um, because I don't have as many reviews. I mean, I need to be better about getting reviews on that. But that's why I was thinking I would get rid of that one. But I mean, obviously, I would love to stay in my neighborhood. Um, so yeah. So that's
Yeah,
why I
so
wasn't
there's
sure.
the dilemma there. I think there is benefit to having a physical address. You'll hear conflicting things, people saying that being a purely service area business with your address hidden hurts you in rankings a little bit or whatever, and then other people say it doesn't, and I believe their policies say that it doesn't. You should rank the same as somebody with a physical address. But there's always, it would make sense that why wouldn't a physical address place be more trustworthy than one without one? Certainly to the consumer looking at it, one with a physical office that they can drive to and a directions button and all the extra things would look more reputable, possibly. So I think perfect world, if a physical office was smack dab in the middle of your desired farm area, that would be perfect world and what you would want. But that's never the case. So it'd be kind of up to you. If there aren't a lot of other realtors in your neighborhood or near your neighborhood that would have Google Business profiles, then you would probably do pretty well ranking like within that neighborhood and within immediate close proximity. Obviously, once it starts spreading out or goes into the metro or what, I don't know how far away you live, or how far from the office are you?
15 minutes. I'm gonna say maybe 10 miles.
Yeah,
We're very rural. I'm very rural
that's far
community.
enough for it to make a difference. If you're doing all the right things, I would think the one at your house should rank at the top if you do all the right things for people in your immediate because you'll be right next to them.
Okay.
Um, the farther away they'll get towards like the metro and where all the other profiles are sitting, or most of them or a lot of them, then you might start getting losing a little bit. But so yeah, so how many reviews are on each one? What's on the house one?
One one's like on 8, one's 8. The house only has I only have like 3 on it. So, I mean, that's why I say it's not like there's a ton on either one of them, so I could go either way at this moment. Um,
Yeah,
but
neither one is terrible. Obviously, 3 is better to lose than 8, but eight's not crazy. Neither one is
yeah.
crazy. So yeah, at least you're not at least it'd be nice to have more reviews, but if you
Yes.
do the merge thing, however
Mhm.
you decide to do it, whichever one with whichever one, if you do that and you're unsuccessful or you just don't hear back from them, all these things are quite possible. Then you could just remove the profile, which is you just go into the 3 dots, the main
Mhm.
backend business profile, advanced or settings, and there'll be a remove profile button, and you do the most extreme one, remove forever, remove me and all the content and whatever it says,
Mhm.
and just close it down permanently,
Okay.
remove the profile, and then it'll just be gone.
Sure. Do you think requesting a merge will cause an issue? Because that's been my concern. That's why I haven't done it, is because I'm afraid if I request a merge, that they might just totally shut me down.
It's possible, but you're doing the right thing, and they do have it. It's a feature, it's a thing that they do and help people to do. So
Okay.
it shouldn't. I wouldn't think so.
Okay. All right. Because that's why I'm like,
But
maybe I should just
again,
delete
AI
one.
is at the helm now, or at least part of the helm, and things that didn't used to trigger problems now do. But I don't think so. If you're going through their help system and there's a selection for merge profiles and you're putting in the things on their help form, it should not. But again, knock on wood. But I don't. I
Okay. I
think you'd be all
appreciate
right.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. And even if you deleted the profile, like I said, it doesn't mean it's like gone from the planet. It's still back there, kind of. And like there can be glitches where it says, "Oh, there's 2 of these suspended." You're like, "No, but it's not. It was removed. I removed it, and now you gotta go." It doesn't. It already did it. Now you gotta sit there till you can get a help tick or you know appeal it or whatever. So nothing is foolproof. But yeah, I don't do merges often. Luckily, usually in the merge cases, like in your case, the 8 would be like 57 reviews and the other one is a 3 reviews. And we're like, well, let's just close that down and move on with our lives and not even try to merge it. But yes, let us know how you make out if you do that, if and when you do that.
I will. Thank you.
And I would do that. Yeah, I wouldn't. Every second they're both open, that is kind of a ticking time bomb, especially if they're named the same and have the same phone number and everything's the same other than the location.
They're not,
Anything else, anybody?
I
Go
was just
ahead.
going to say, they're not named exactly the same thing. Like, the community one has my name and then like the community name. And then the office one is my name in that in that town. So they're a little different, but they're the same, but they're different, a little different. So I'll let you know how it works out.
Yeah, yeah. Keep us posted. Anybody else have anything or any questions about that or the same problem?
I've got a quick question. I don't want to step on your news section, but are you going to be talking about the antitrust thing with the Google ad stuff?
Um, yeah, there is that. No, I don't have anything on my agenda to talk about the antitrust. I've talked about it in the past. It kind of, I guess, I kind of ignore the articles about it now. However, it has actually happened now. Yeah, nothing on my agenda to talk about it. It will. There for those that don't know, Google's always been sued for a long time, but there have been some big cases in antitrust stuff lately, and they were. I didn't read what the case ended, and they have to do certain remedies. I didn't read since it's been done to know what the remedies are that they have to do. Before, the ones that were proposed were not being the default search on devices like Apple devices. I think I've heard like 20% of Apple's revenue or something like that, or of their profits, or some large chunk. It's not something to sneeze at. A large chunk of their income is from Google paying Apple to be the default search engine on Apple phones. So Apple for sure, there's going to be, I guess, if you get a new Apple phone, and I think this is the case in Europe already, possibly, because the same stuff is happening over there. You will have the choice to use Google as your default. Like when you first set up your phone, it'll probably be a question: do you want Google to be your default search engine, or Bing, or can't be Siri because Siri has to use something else. Apple doesn't have their own, so I don't know what the other options. ChatGPT, I guess that's already in Apple phones. You can use ChatGPT for stuff. That's kind of integrated, so you probably have your choice: Google or Google Gemini, maybe two choices: Google regular, Google Gemini, ChatGPT, Bing, and maybe something else, DuckDuckGo or something. That's still kind of out there. I've seen ads for DuckDuckGo, and I've been on client calls that people seem to like. That's probably the top one, other than the main like Chrome, Safari desktop ones. I usually see DuckDuckGo
Hey, Derek,
used. Go
I'm
ahead.
going to cut you off, but I'm specifically referencing the Detroit Supreme Court case that was just lost by Google, where it's highly likely now that they're going to have to break off the ads part of their business completely and sell it. So Google will no longer be running ads, is what it sounded like. But I didn't know if that you had any insight into how that would affect the Google business pages and ads and all that kind of stuff, where they're saying that they're potentially going to break up Google away from the ads product because they're considering it a monopoly.
Yes, I'm going to jump in. My understanding is that if you are buying Google Ads on your Apple phone, they got a cut of it. So, like, let's say you put $100 to a Google ad, and I don't know the exact numbers, but 20 of that's going straight to Apple. So then you're really only running an ad for 80. It's something like that. Yield.
Yeah, that's the same with the Facebook ad. That's the same with a lot of stuff you do on Apple paid stuff. They take portion 20% or other things. Yes, I don't know deep about the ad stuff, but the ad stuff. So the first thing I was saying was one of the things that was talked about would be done. Again, I don't know what all came out of it. The ads thing was something that was talked about. Also, getting rid of Chrome. Chrome is so they have 89% search share right now. Chrome as a browser, I think last time I heard, had 60% share as a browser, and then they have all that data and blah blah blah. So they would also have to sell Chrome off, I think is what. And with all this stuff, what are they left now? You gave away the whole code. Now what do they have left? Kind of crazy, but yeah. So I'm not deep into that stuff. I kind of keep my head down into like doing the client work and the things, the practices and everything. But yeah, it is something to watch. I'll have to read up on the ads part more. And if anybody else knows more about it, feel free to chime in. Anything else? Anybody?
I have a question. Is anybody else having, when I put, and this happened to somebody else a while ago, when you put stuff into the chat, it won't let me send it. Is there something I'm doing wrong?
Something in the chat.
Like when I type something in the chat and I go to send it, there's no send button, there's no little arrow. I
Oh.
I've
I
gone
think there
out,
was a
I've come in.
change with Apple setup or something recently, possibly. I
Yes,
could
it
be
happens
wrong.
to me too, actually. When I go to send it, there's no send button.
Yeah, it's happened to me a time or two, Mia. And then it just, I get out and swipe around and then it'll work. It's a glitch, I think, in
Yeah,
Clubhouse.
because I think I was able to do it in Ginger's room. I don't know, but it's happened before. But I just wanted to know if it was the room or it was me.
I think it's the app, possibly, per usual. All right. I guess we'll move on then if we're good on questions and things. This first thing I have here. So I don't know what sparked me to do it, but I went to Google and typed in reviews for Derek Bixler as if maybe I was somebody that somebody referred me and I want to see reviews for Derek Bixler. So I typed in reviews Derek Bixler, and what came up shocked me. No, it didn't shock me. Very much, but it was somewhat interesting, which is why I'm bringing it up. If I could find it, I'll go down it. So the first thing I got on mine, and you can try this with yourself and see what comes up. It's always nice to see what comes up. Do the correct things come up? Are there good reviews there? Blah, blah, blah. But basically, what you would think came up. Yelp is at the very top. A weird one that came up for me that I don't like, or I need to figure out how to change. The top website was after Yelp, and sometimes when I do it, it's above the Yelp, is my website, which you would think kind of good, but it's just a picture from my website, which is a Google G, and the image is used on a page I created for reviews, which is all SEO optimized, has schema, blah, 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 has this G in that, but instead of Google prioritizing and using that page that I actually made for reviews for Derek Bixler, it is serving up the image, just that G that the image is SEO optimized. So clearly I need to less SEO optimize this image so it doesn't supersede that actual page that I built, and figure out why it's doing that. Or maybe I could just de-index this image, because I do have my image sitemap running in Google Search Console, which is going above people's heads. But anyway, so that was in the search results, my own website, but that image, it does take you to like that image on my website. It's like a blank page kind of. So I guess it's good. It gets people to my website, but not exactly what I want to be there. I want that page I purposely built to be in people's faces to be there. So I need to figure that out. So Yelp is at the top. That's interesting. I mean, I have been talking recently about how we need to spread ourselves out a little bit. Google is not the only place people will look, and even Google is looking at other places. So Yelp is up there, and Yelp a lot of times is up there. And on an Apple phone, on Apple Business Connect, I think every time if it puts it together that you have a Yelp profile and it's the same person, the Apple Business Connect will pull over the Yelp reviews onto there. So Yelp, kind of important. And Yelp is always part of the people suing Google, especially because they're a review platform. They're a kind of like TripAdvisor and places like that. Yelp is always going against Google. Try getting reviews on Yelp. You're not allowed to ask for reviews on Yelp. You've heard me say that before. Their whole platform is, the whole thing is, you do not ask or solicit. People are just compelled by either great service or terrible service to go to Yelp and leave you a review. So Yelp tends to be more really, really trustworthy, high-end reviews, so to speak. But Yelp is up there. Then my own website, just my homepage, which I guess that's good. It does have reviews on it. Again, I would like that reviews page that I created to be there, but I guess it's good that two of my website pages are in the top if you look for reviews for me. Then you got Zillow, which makes sense. Facebook business page. Why there are two, I'm not sure. Possibly because, this is what I'm going to guess, I just renamed it, and one of them is, no, that's not it. I was going to say I just renamed it, and maybe Google still has indexed like the old one in the index along with the new one possibly, but now that I'm looking at it, I don't think that's what it is. But anyway, Facebook business page, Yelp again, Derek, Realtor.com, Instagram, TikTok, and then next page for me. So Derek Bixler reviews, and you should do this for yourself, see what comes up. Probably, I'm guessing a lot of the same things, but maybe not. You should see your Google business profile along with possibly your website would be nice. A lot of people will not have the website stuff in there, but Yelp could be there, Zillow, Facebook business page, Realtor.com, so on and so forth. So give that a look and see what comes up when you search for yourself, plus reviews, as if somebody is looking for reviews for you. And I also saw, when I searched reviews Derek Bixler on mobile, not on desktop, but on mobile, there was a little panel about 2 websites down. There was a little panel that had like a picture of me, and then I think it said my name and maybe my birth date or something. I should have taken a screenshot of it. And then it said public figure. So Google sees me as a public figure, I guess, because I'm around the internet enough in a professional capacity, possibly, or I guess maybe that doesn't have anything to do with it, but it calls me a public figure. So if you do it on mobile, see what yours says. Does it say that you're a public figure? Do you even have a little panel there? Does it say something different? I'd be interested to know. And then, I don't want to go. That's a waste of time to talk about. I don't know if I mentioned this before or not. I don't think I did on the Search Engine Roundtable, which is one of the shows I listen to / watch. They talked about Google, and other people have talked about this too. Google removing reviews from schools because of spam and prank reviews. So Google is removing all reviews from schools, and I guess that includes universities. I don't know. I think it's at least public schools, I think, possibly universities too, but removing them from schools and removing or stopping them from being able to get reviews and removing any reviews that they did have. So I guess
Please tell me this is not true.
No, that's true.
This
I don't know
is
if
all
it's universities, because that could be.
It's all about Deutsch and reshaping the education. Unless they're going to teach what they want them to teach, then now no reviews, no funding, no, the whole thing goes right along with that. Okay, I'm getting yelled.
Possibly something like that underlying. I don't know. In the things I was listening to, the only reason I heard somebody say was because of prank and spam reviews, because
I don't buy
kids
it.
Leave reviews, but
I don't buy that
who
for
knows?
1 minute, Derek. No.
School boards just would also not like dealing with reviews. There's probably only bad reviews because nobody's compelled to leave a really good review for a school, probably. It's like a property management Google business profile. They're always terrible. The one firm I used to be at, they had a property management company, and it's all run out of the same place, same Google business profile. It was all bad reviews and it was hard to combat. A lot of property management companies turn off reviews wherever possible. So yes, who knows? Maybe something underlying, maybe because prank reviews, who knows? I've never read reviews on a school before, so Google is removing them. Whether it's something else dictating that, I don't know, but they're removing reviews altogether. Whatever the reason is, it's money driven for Google, probably. They're just whatever the problem is, they don't want to deal with it, so they're like, well, we're just going to turn them off. How about that?
Well, I'll tell you who does read school reviews. Every parent that's doing a relocation are going to be moving. They're going to be reading the school reviews. My clients, my relocation clients, always.
Yeah, I guess so. I never even thought about it. Like Google reviews, I've thought about going to greatschools.com or whatever. That's not going away.
Like I should sit on my hands right now, Derek. Okay, back to the show.
Huh.
Oh my
So
God.
I mean, no, you're bringing light to this. It's maybe a bigger deal than I was giving it, especially for our industry, possibly.
This is so not okay. And
Yeah.
I promise I will yield. Okay. Sheila, help me,
I mean,
honey.
it's not outlawed, Cindy. It's not like reviews are outlawed for schools. It's just Google turning them off. But yeah, I get you. It is the biggest place. So greatschools.com, I guess, is the only place you're going to go, or whatever else. I don't. And we can't really talk. I never talk about schools publicly or with clients. We're not supposed to. Well, this one's good or this one's bad or however everybody wants their search set up per school district. Even if they don't have kids, a lot of times they're like set it up for that. Anyhow, yeah. So go test. I haven't looked. You can maybe, if you know a school that used to have reviews, pull it up, see if they still have reviews. If there's a review button, I haven't tested it yet. And then maybe look at a university too. I would guess private schools may be exempt. I don't know what. I didn't dig deeper into it, but yeah, interesting. Next thing I have here, I'm gonna come back to that. AI review summaries are here and will probably increase. So if you go to a Google business profile, sometimes now, usually on mobile and not every time, and it depends on your browser and your phone, yada yada. But you are starting to see these, and you're starting to see them in different places on the Google business profile also. So they always had, or that not always, but recently they added an AI summary for the business, which really just read your description and shortened it. So it was super stupid. Maybe scanned your website and like added something from there. It kind of seemed like sometimes, but there would be a kind of a little panel with an AI summary of this business. Well, now they're doing AI review summaries, and they're saying they'll probably increase. And I have seen them, but I haven't seen them every time on everybody's. So be on the lookout for that. The reason why it's important is before writing, the words that were in a review didn't matter a ton. Like in studies, people generally look at the stars, the rating, and the number of stars, the number of reviews versus actually reading reviews. Some people do, but in general, majority of people do not read reviews. They're looking at just the numbers. However, so we didn't have to really worry about what was in the review too much. We did we want to hit certain words to resonate and help convert people, talk about the place and selling and listing and all those kind of things that we want to resonate with people for. Also, Google is kind of looking at the words in your reviews and putting buttons there that, you know, the word professional was said 12 times. Click this button to see all the reviews that mention professional or selling or whatever. Most people say that the words in there don't necessarily help you rank like in SEO for those words, but obviously Google is watching the words in there, still superstitious that it may help you rank for those things maybe. Plus you want to have those things in there to convert for people. So both sides of it, having writing and words in your reviews the proper way kind of matters, but kind of didn't because people weren't really reading them anyway. However, now, if they're going to have AI review summaries, we need to start thinking about it and doing it like a mother, because people are going to look at the 5.0, the 4.9, whatever, the number of reviews, 20 versus 50 versus 789. They're going to look at that. And then they might not read all the reviews, but if there's a blurb right below it that says review summary, and the AI thing says everybody's talking about how awesome they are at marketing, selling, and listing a house, then that's what it's going to tell them, and they're going to read that and think that. So now, before I really didn't stress too hard gaming what it said in a review. That's a lot of time spent. They may not do it anyway. You just need to get reviews, have them write something. You do want them to write something, but not a lot of time spent in trying to get them to write certain things. But now with these AI review summaries and with ChatGPT and all the AIs like I've been talking about every single episode, all these things are going to be doing summaries of all your things too. So instead of like Google's doing on here with just your Google reviews. It's going to say people generally say that they're really good with listings and buyer agency or whatever. Other AIs, including Gemini, but ChatGPT and everything, it'll probably read all your reviews, the reviews on Zillow, the reviews on Facebook, the reviews on Rate My Agent, on Realtor.com, on Yelp, on Google, all the ones, and then it'll have its own summary of all the reviews for this person seem to mention these things a lot. So since you're looking for a relocation buyer's agent in this town, this person is probably the best fit for you. So that's pretty important too. Like I said in the past, didn't try to put a ton of effort into getting people to write about specific things. I just, let's get the review. But now I think it's going to matter more if you're trying to get certain clients, or you want to focus on listings, or you want that AI review summary to say a certain thing. You're going to have to game that a little bit, or kind of coach people on what to say there. So that's AI review summaries. People watch this was interesting, and this was also on the Near memo. They said that people mostly watch video testimonials when they are vetting the business. So people don't tend to read reviews or watch videos or video testimonial of businesses if they're not in the market or anything. But if they did watch a testimonial video, it was on the business's website or their Facebook business page or some kind of social. So they were vetting the people. So video testimonials, this tells me that video testimonials should be on your website, on your Facebook business page, and on your socials, all the places where people vet people. Highest vetting places are Facebook business page, Google, yada, yada. So if you don't have any, get some on there. I've started making, on my Search Bomb website, there's a testimonials page, and then it has a bunch of audio. I don't have any video ones, but I have kind of audio made into video ones, and then a bunch of other ones, and then a link to read the Google ones and all that kind of stuff. So think about if you have video testimonials, especially your website, they were stressing a lot. If you have video testimonials, try to get them on your website and have like a dedicated reviews and testimonials page on your website, because when people refer you or they're trying to vet you and they're looking you up specifically, that's when they want to watch those things in those places. Badge of shame. And maybe in the Google business profile, you could put them in your photos section. You could post them as updates too. They would get buried as time goes on in the updates, but you could put them in the photos section also. A lot of times they get blocked in there for whatever reason. I think it's kind of against their policy kind of somehow. But you can try, and obviously they have to be under 30 seconds if you're in the photos section and everything. But video testimonials. And then they said that they are putting a badge of shame on some profiles, on mobile version of the profiles, if a business has been found to be doing bad review practices, i.e. getting fake reviews, giving fake reviews, like bad reviews against competition, gating, meaning those forms that say click 1 or 5 stars or anything in between, and if the person clicks 1 star, it takes them to some back-end review form that doesn't go anywhere. If they click 5 stars, it takes them to leave a review on Google. That would be an example of gating. Another example of gating would be only asking people that you know are going to give you really good reviews. That's technically kind of gating against new federal regulations, but obviously everybody does that, but actual gating probably shouldn't. But anyhow, businesses that are found doing bad things, getting fake reviews, gating, or incentivizing. You also can't run promotions, get this for giving us a review, or even get in this drawing to possibly win something for giving us a review, anything like that. Any kind of incentivizing isn't allowed either. And that's not allowed by Google or federal policy. I don't think it's law. I don't know the difference between laws and guidelines and policies and all the different things, but incentivizing definitely not allowed. So if you're found by Google to be doing any of these things, and there possibly could be other things, They might put an actual badge of shame, and I haven't seen this out in the wild or a picture of it, but some kind of thing on your profile that actually says, like, this business was found. The reviews on here might not be accurate, or I don't even know what it says or how it looks, but apparently somehow there's some kind of thing on the profile that will tell people that this business might not be as reputable as they seem or whatever. And then I'm sure if they were found to be in good practice for a long time, hopefully that would go away. I would guess you probably have to request it go away rather than it just going away on its own, but possibly. And it is possible to get, I hate the term shadow banned, but I guess that's the closest, the way to describe it. You can get kind of shadow banned with reviews also if for some reason on the back end Google thinks you're doing fishy things with your reviews. They can on the back end kind of gate your reviews and turn them on or off or not let them through or whatever without telling you. They'll just do it and they'll wait until they feel like they can trust you again or whatever. So that can happen too. So the moral of that is probably just don't do any of those things. Definitely don't buy fake reviews for yourself, and don't buy bad reviews for anybody else. I also wouldn't do heavy gating, only asking people that you think are going to give you a good review. Obviously everybody does that, but the heavy gating, I would stay away from that. And then incentivizing, I definitely would not do that. Especially people are like posting on social media about it and you can't do any of that. That's against every review platform and federal law, policy, guideline, whatever it is, like I said. And then the last thing I have, and we're 9 minutes out, this 30-minute episode thing is out the window, I guess. The last thing I have is in the near memo also, they were talking about sending people a branded query link, which I'll explain in a minute, sending them a branded query link instead of your review request link. The thinking behind it, and I've already thought this, and other people, it's not the first time people have thought about this, but it's the first time I've heard said on a big podcast kind of, to send people, instead of sending your review request link, which is that link that Google gives you to request a review that tells Google specifically that you requested that link, which is a number one signal to kind of scan that review more heavily because this person was out here trying to get it and maybe gating it or doing any of those things that we don't want them to do. So when somebody uses the review request link, first off, Google knows you requested that review. So, and whether that's a bad signal or not, I don't know, and they didn't know either, but just kind of speculating that, why wouldn't it be built in that Google knows that, and possibly that's maybe a strike one against that review. And again, don't take it as that's a strike one, but that's what they're speculating here possibly. And I'm going to give you a little test or way you can try it out to do it a different way. So review request link, good, keeps it quick to get the review, takes them directly to giving a review, no extra clicks, but possibly Google knows what you're doing, knows you're requesting it, yada, yada. So they're suggesting that possibly sending your clients a branded query link instead of the review request link would be better. A branded query link would be, I would go to Google and I type in Derek Bixler Realtor, and that should be enough, hopefully, for most of you, unless your name is John Smith. So Derek Bixler Realtor. And then the link up at the top in the URL, it says google.com/search Q, which I'm guessing stands for query. Q equals Derek Bixler, blah, 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 blah. There's a bunch of numbers and gobbledygook, but really all I want is out to Q equals Derek plus Bixler plus Realtor. And then the rest of it I don't need. So I'm going to copy that link, and I'll actually put it in the chat here live. I may have already, but I'm not sure. And you can see what I'm talking about, so you can do it the right way also if you want to try this. So this, when people click that link, that's going to generate a Google search as if that person went to Google and typed in Derek Bixler Realtor and clicked enter and searched for me. And as we've talked about in the past, getting people to search for us and go to our stuff and let Google know that we're the bomb and people want to look us up is a good thing. So they're saying the same thing, that maybe this would be a better signal to Google, possibly help your rankings more because you're getting branded queries, branded searches on Google. And if you're doing your stuff on your Google business profile correctly, especially on mobile, but also on desktop, if somebody types in or searches Derek Bixler Realtor or John Smith Realtor, your Google business profile should be bam, right up in their face with the reviews, very prominent also, and very easy to just click reviews, give review, and then give a review. So it's not too much harder on the consumer end, although it is if you're getting literal about it. The review request link is click I'm there. So one step, click there. This method, although better possibly for your branded searches and your SEO and your ranking possibly, this method is click link. So there's one, and then click. The Google business profile should be right in their face. They shouldn't have to scroll. They shouldn't have to click anything. It should be right in their face. So click to get to the search, click to click on the reviews, and then click to give a review. So there'll be 3 steps to that. So 1 step to a 3-step. Obviously, if we're trying to get people to do things, we want it to be easier and more straightforward and dummy proof. So you could think about it yourself if you want to switch it up or test it or anything. I think I might try it a little bit. I've thought about it in the past. Obviously, it makes sense if people are searching you. Again, I haven't heard anybody say that they've tested it and know that it helps or does anything, but it would make sense that it would. And I'm in the mood
So
for
Derek, I
testing
did
stuff.
something
Go ahead.
similar on that last 5-star review that I got. I did something similar. I found myself on the map, right? And then it pulled up my profile, and then I hit the share button, and that's how I shared it to her text. So instead of actually sending her the review link, I sent her the Google business thing. And so I don't know if that's similar. I'm assuming it's similar, but the good news is her review showed up immediately. Versus I
Nice.
know sometimes when we send the link, it doesn't come through, yada, yada.
Yeah. I think what you said would be smack dab in the middle of the two. So you'd have the review request link, which is I clearly requested this review, but it's the shortest path. Then you got yours, which is just sends them to the Google business profile directly in general. And then which is 1-2 steps. I'm there, click reviews, or it's kind of closer. And then the third one is the branded query. I'm just going to Google and searching for this person type of link. So what you said would be right in the middle. And you could do that. You could go with the middle version too. So you kind of have 3 choices. And the reason for it showing up right away, it could be that, could be 8 million billion other reasons also. But yeah, that's always awesome when it shows up right away. They're like, I gave you one. Oh, snap, it actually showed up. Thank you. Yeah, that's also, and if anybody doesn't know, there should be a share button on your profile. And it also gives you, if you're doing it on desktop at least, you can get an embedded code, HTML code to put on your website if you wanted to have your Google business profile on your website easily. You could also put it on there other ways, have your reviews kind of go over to your website via other plugins, but if you click that share button, you can get a send a link, which is the regular link to send to people, and then also an embedded link if you wanted to have it on your website. And I do like to do that, maybe in the footer, because it's not, you wouldn't have it like as a big showcase thing. The reviews maybe would be a showcase item on your website, but the location, it's just kind of showing, it's more of a showing them where you're located kind of thing when you embed it on your website. So I think I have it in my footers of mine. I want to say maybe on the contact us main section, like the body of the page. But if you wanted to do that, you could do that. And people say, and again, I don't know if it actually is, but having things tied in, embedded on your website, tied in directly with your Google business profile can help. For sure, your website can help if you have a good website, whether embedding the map in your footer helps You'd have to prove that to me a little bit, but I'm still superstitious with everybody else. Any other questions about that, about how to share or anything? So I put in the chat there, you'll see my link. So that would be the one that, and you would cut off when you do your search and go get the link. It will have a bunch of letters and numbers and everything. I would just cut it off after the Q equals your name plus whatever your query was. And then that would be the link that you would share with people, or do the direct Google business profile or the review request link. Either one. Either way, don't complicate it. If it's easy to complicate it and you think it'll actually happen, or maybe you complicate it with select people who you think will actually take the extra steps, and also maybe do the things like, hey, add that picture we took at the house and do that kind of stuff. Those are the ones you complicate it with. And then the other people, Granny, who can barely log into the multi-list to look at houses, maybe she gets something different and more streamlined. And I think that's all I have. And look at that. It's 10 o'clock. So awesome. We had a little bit of scandal, unanticipated scandal, with Google removing reviews from schools. I didn't even think about it like that was even going to be an issue or a problem. I just thought it was kind of news. Hey, they did that. Who cares? And then now I'm rethinking that whole thing about how important that is and could potentially be, especially if that expanded to other platforms. I don't know that it has or will, but anyway, we had a little bit of kind of scandal, unanticipated scandal there, and we talked about a new test you can running your branded search, sending people your branded search link like we just talked about instead of your review request link, with the drawbacks as we talked about, being extra steps for your consumer, but possibly better for your SEO and your ranking. And I think that was about it. Anybody have any questions or anything else before we close her out? And thank you, Cindy. Is she still in here? I think she
I'm
is.
here, Derek.
Oh, you're there? Oh, there you
I'm
are.
here.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you for chiming in and bringing my attention to the importance of school reviews.
Well, I hope it's not what I think it is. We shall see. There's just a little bit more control than I. Anyway, Derek, it was a great room. Look at me behaving. Okay, dear.
And maybe you'll need to tune in next week, because I'm going to read up more on all the lawsuit now that the lawsuits and everything are complete. I'm gonna read up and have a little bit. Maybe that'll be the whole next room, is going over
Oh,
what punishments Google is getting
okay.
for being so
It's
awesome.
on my calendar right now. Won't miss it. I'll be there.
Awesome. Sweet. Well, thanks everybody for being here. We'll close her out and have a good Wednesday. I always forget. It's always on Wednesday, but I still forget what day it is. Have a good Wednesday, hump day. See everybody next week.